Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back to the Miranda Zone. It's your girl, Miranda. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to give you tips on how to get rid of anxiety, stress and anxiety. Because I have a lot of friends who deal with anxiety. I deal with anxiety myself. But knock on wood, if this table's wood, my anxiety issues have gotten a whole lot better over the years. Because I think I've had anxiety ever since I was about 8 years old or something like that. But ever since I've gotten older, my anxiety level goes sky high. Like if something scares me, or even if it's just something that excites me in a good way. Like if I'm really, really excited to go see somebody that I haven't seen in forever, no matter who it may be, I get really anxious. Like my esophagus would feel it feels so crazy. Like whenever I would go see a certain person that I haven't seen in a long time. Now, back when I was a kid, I had a lot of stomach issues. Because it was like no matter where I went, my stomach would be in knots. And I would always feel sick to my stomach. And that went on for years. Like I said, I think I developed that anxiety around 7 or 8 years old. Because like whenever I had to go to school, I would feel sick to my stomach. And there were times where I actually would get sick before I even went to school on most mornings, because I hated school that bad. I didn't like the people there. It was mostly the kids that drove me nuts more than the teachers. Some teachers gave me anxiety too, but it was mostly, the kids with peer pressure, and just all things that kids go through when they're growing up in school. So I think, like I said, my disorder, well, it wasn't a disorder. It was just basically, let's say it was just a self-conscious attitude adjustment or whatever. Because it had a lot to do with the way I felt about things and about certain types of people. Because when I was in school, I got bullied a lot. The real bullying didn't start until junior high, then it got worse in high school. Hated high school. But I started I've always hated school, but I think when I got in junior high, that's when I really started hating school, period. I mean, I've hated school all my life, but when it started really getting to me is when I went to junior high, and then it seemed to get worse when I got to high school because every year of high school just stressed me out, especially my senior year. It stressed me out pretty bad. Growing up as a child, like in school and stuff, I was always quiet. I never would talk to anybody when I was growing up in school. Or when I was going to school, I never did talk to anybody. Like, let's start back from when I was in kindergarten. Like, my mom had to homeschool me when I was a kindergartner because I wouldn't communicate with anybody. I just wouldn't talk to anybody, and that's nobody's fault or anything like that. Kids just saw me as a totally different person. Like, I was an alien or something, and I still got treated that way. Even in junior high all the way up to high school. I've always been treated by a lot of kids that were my age. You know, they treated me like I was an alien from Mars or somewhere like that. So it bothered me being around them. Oh my gosh. That just squirted me everywhere. Well. I'm gonna go get my washcloth. I will be back in a second. I cannot believe that darn thing squirt me like crap. Sorry about that. I got sprayed by Dr. Pepper. Not very nice. But yeah, where was I? Yeah. Okay, so like I said, when I was in kindergarten, I didn't talk to anybody. So it started from then on to where people just started treating me different than anybody else, you know. So that continued as time went on, as I got older and, you know, all the way up to high school. Even people still then treated me differently. And I am different. I'm not like everybody else. I'm not skinny. I mean, you know, I'm just me. I can't walk. But even though I can't walk and I'm not skinny, I'm still blessed. I have oxygen, you know, and I'm still blessed because at least I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. So that's all that matters to me. I did have I did have like maybe 2 or 3 really good friends in high school, but that was it. Most of the kids in school, like when I got to high school, high school was rough for me. It was just stupid. It stunk. I couldn't wait to graduate. But a lot of kids there wanted to fight me just because they didn't like me, they didn't like the way I looked, they just didn't like me, so they wanted to fight me. And there were times that I wished that I wasn't in a wheelchair, because I would have been more than happy to kick a few of their rear ends. I mean, I seem like this really sweet person, and I am. I'm pretty sweet, but I'm not going to let somebody talk me down and talk trash to me and get away with it. So people are lucky that I only use verbal words instead of physical stuff. But I've learned that getting physical is not the answer. Just if somebody's bullying you, walk away. And if you can't get away from it, tell somebody. Tell an adult. Because who cares if that makes you a wimp? As long as you're not getting hurt, like physically. If you're emotionally and mentally getting hurt, that's bad, but it's not as bad as getting beat up physically. That's how I see it. So, yeah, a lot of kids wanted to fight me, and like I said, I just couldn't wait to get out of school, period, because I hated it. But yeah, I was definitely different than the rest of the crowd. I was always quiet. And I think that's one reason why people didn't like me as much. Excuse me. I have acid really bad, like acid reflux. Really, really bad, so it's awful. But yeah, I think that's why a lot of kids didn't like me, because I was always quiet. It's not that I was afraid of anybody, but I didn't want to say anything to the wrong person and get beat up or something like that. So I didn't bother anybody. I didn't know really who to be friends with. I tried to be friends with the people in the good crowd. Sometimes I ended up being friends with people in the wrong crowd. But I fixed that real quick. Once I realized I was friends with the wrong crowd, I got out of it real quick. But once I got to my senior year, sorry, my acid reflux is messing with me so freaking bad. It's driving me nuts. But once I got to my senior year, towards the end of my senior year, like I said, I've always been a quiet person my whole life. I've always been a quiet person. I could go to a dance at a school, because in junior high, we would always have like these dances and things like that, and I've always been quiet. Even in high school, we would have dances, and I would be so quiet. Like there was a few guys that would actually dance with me, but I was too shy to ask other guys that I seen that I wanted to dance with. So I would dance with the guys that wanted to dance with me, that didn't have a problem dancing with me. And the other guys that I wanted to dance with, I just didn't bother them after I got done dancing with the guys that I danced with that didn't mind dancing with me. I would just go sit somewhere by myself until the dance was over and go home after it was done. But towards the end of my senior year, it was awesome, because something inside of me just let loose. During my senior year, towards the end of the senior year. I mean, I just opened up. I don't know how I did it. I guess for me, I just basically told myself, I said, Miranda, this is what I said to myself. I said, Miranda, you have to stop being so quiet. It doesn't matter what people think about you. It matters what God thinks about you. If you are yourself, people are going to like you. There's going to be people that don't like you, that say nothing but mean crap about you. And then there's going to be other people, the good people, that lift you up, that are always going to be there for you. And the ones that are always going to be there for you is the ones that you need to be around. Don't be around the negativity, the negative people. Because they're just talking a bunch of crap. Just blah, 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 blah. Just learn to always be yourself. It doesn't matter what people think about you. Do what you want to do. Be whoever you want to be. If people like it, that's good. And if they don't, they're not worth your time. This is your time to let your light shine. You have to remember, God likes me because He likes me. And it doesn't matter what others think. You're not here to please people. You're here to please God and yourself. Think of it this way. You see a really cute guy, right? Or a girl, right? That you've liked for a really, really long time. So what are you going to do? Are you just going to sit back and never tell them that you have feelings for them? Or that you have feelings for them? Or are you going to tell them how you feel? If you don't tell them how you feel, then they'll never know that you like them. If you don't show people the true, real you, they will never know what you're gonna be like. They won't see the real you unless you show them. I mean, this was difficult for me. But like I said, I had to tell myself, I had to say to myself, Miranda, it doesn't matter what people think. I like me because God likes me. I'm going to do what I want to do. And if people like it, that's okay. If they don't, I don't care. That's okay too. So just be yourself. Get out there. Be yourself. Because when you start showing people how sweet and a wonderful person you are and show them what all you can do, people are going to notice that and like you. Don't be a hermit. I know a lot of people that are a hermit. They don't want to deal with life situations. And that's just sad. I mean, deal with what life throws at you. Just remember that God is going to walk with you every step of the way, no matter what you go through. So don't live in fear for the rest of your life. If you want to do something, get out there and do it. Say to yourself, it doesn't matter what people think. I'm going to be me. This is what you should say to yourself. So this has been a long video. I apologize for that. This is just a subject that I feel really, really strong about. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is, don't be afraid to be yourself, because if you are, then people are going to miss out on what a great person you are. So I guess that's all I want to say. Peace and God bless.